today we're going to be talking about the waste of waiting. So now, waiting is one of the most frustrating parts about our industry in construction. We're waiting on information, we're waiting on tools, we're waiting on materials, we're waiting on drawings to complete. We're waiting. And it's a huge hindrance to getting production done efficiently in construction. Now you can apply it to all kinds of other arenas, office or manufacturing, of course, where this came from. But waiting in construction is a very frustrating one, and it's one we really need to eliminate, okay? We really need to get rid of it. It's a huge waste. We're waiting on the trade in front of us. We're waiting on the engineer for an RFI. Waiting. So what can we do to combat the waste of waiting? Usually when I'm waiting, I'm doing something that is still productive, but not as productive. And it meant when I'm waiting, usually means that I couldn't start something, or I started something, got halfway through it and had to wait. Now I got to go back to it. Anytime we got to wait, start, stop, that's all bad. It's all counter to efficient production. So waiting, huge battle in construction. What's a couple of examples? I'm waiting on information, or I am waiting on materials. Now, electricians in the field that are trying to get the job built for you, or the mechanical guy, or the plumber, or the carpenter, or the cement guy, concrete guy, doesn't matter. Steel guy or gal today, doesn't matter. If they're waiting, it's a problem. So we want to get rid of that, right? So what's a countermeasure for waiting on things? Early planning is probably the biggest one, because through early planning, I put that for both of these, early planning can eliminate the problem of waiting. And if I plan well and in detail, and I hold and commit to the plan, I can eliminate a lot of the waiting problems that occur on a project site. Electricians, what do they need? They need the labor force there, but they need tools, material, information, and equipment. If they have those four things, they can go, right? If it's all correct, right? So early planning is the number one countermeasure to this waiting problem that can occur.
This brings us to number 3 of downtime. We covered defects, we covered overproduction. This is probably the easiest one to see, which is waiting. Years ago, I was asked in an interview, over 10 years ago, George, how does lean apply to construction? And I said, it's pretty easy. You can just identify waste, eliminate waste, and how much waste is in construction. Put a camera, I said, in the 4 corners of the project that you're working on. Let that camera run, and then watch for people standing around. Just that waiting time alone will indicate waste. Just fix that one waste, and you will be a lean construction project. And if anybody's not done that exercise, I highly recommend it. Put a camera there and just watch people standing around, not adding value to the building. And again, I'm from manufacturing. I just say it straight up, Perry. But you could say they do a great job, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm saying if they're standing around waiting for anything, materials, information, tools, that is a complete violation. And Muda Man is the one sitting back there making sure nobody's communicating around what they have and don't have. So this is very key. Give me some examples, Perry.
Well, that waiting is, you're nail with the hammer with that. Yeah, the waiting is a huge problem on construction sites. And I think it goes back to our first discussion about the communication. People are waiting because they haven't properly planned their work, and oftentimes to no fault of their own. The would-be worker that's out there, doesn't matter what trade, and is waiting on something, is legitimately waiting because there are so many things that happen before that person's work they're about to do that they had no control over. that now they're stuck waiting. They're waiting. They need an answer from the foreman. They're waiting. The material didn't show up when it was supposed to. They're waiting because the PM said he'd call them right back. They're waiting because the superintendent said, I need to have a conversation with you. They're waiting outside. They're waiting on the lift. You know, they can't go up to the 10th floor because the lift's being used by another trade. So they could walk. They have to determine whether, do I walk? Well, so yeah, they can do that, but it takes 10 times longer, times 10th floor. The elevator would have went a lot faster. On and on it goes on construction sites. So we used to say, literally, George, don't look at the people standing around. Because, why do you think we said that? Because we believe the reason is they have a legitimate reason. They're not trying to be lazy or not work hard. They are working hard, but it's part of what we talked about culture in our first series of videos here. Part of the old culture was that, yeah, sometimes I have to wait on stuff. It's just part of the job out here, man. What are you getting all whipped up about? Whereas we know now today, having listened to lean manufacturers more, the idea that what you just said when you started out, this waiting concept, that's a killer. It's a killer waste for all of us, and we should all be mindful of it. It should be an indicator of something we probably want to fix.
So for the third exercise, you need to walk your job site or home or a place where you can walk and spot waste. And when you see a waste, film it, a short video with your camera, and say, this is the waste of transportation. Countermeasure I would use would be whatever you come up with. You need to do that for 3 of the 8. You don't need to do all 8, but you need to do 3 of the 8.